Hey, it's Alosha here, and today I'm going to share with you a few Russian, well, maybe they're worldwide, I'm sure they are, but I learned them from Russia when I was growing up, from my mom and my grandmother. Just a few remedies that can help you get over flu or not to get flu in the future at all. Although it looks like spring is here, it's still just over middle of July and it's freaking cold. So I'm sure some rounds of flu might still come back, or if they don't, you'll know what to do for the future. I'm going to show you each one step by step. And the first one you can do is just some mint in the garden. And mint is super easy to grow, and mint, ginger, cayenne pepper, and cinnamon make a fantastic tea. So brew that up for a few minutes, and then make sure you cool it down before you put honey in, because a lot of people just chuck in a spoon of honey in boiling water, and that basically turns it into sugar and kills all the goodness. So make sure your tea, you can either pour it into another cold cup, so just instantly drop the temperature, or just wait a little while, and then put your spoon of honey, and yeah, you have that tea like a liter or 2 liters in a day. It will definitely assist to sort you out. Play around with cayenne levels. It should hit the back of your throat a bit. Otherwise, just ginger and mint and cinnamon. Cinnamon is a fantastic healer for all around or around your body, any ailments. So let's go and pick some mint. Mint loves water. It's growing fantastically all year round. I've got an abundance of mint, so let's say for, a little handful for a cup would give it a really nice flavor. Yeah, there's obviously a lot of other herbs that we can use, but this is just most accessible. Some mint. There's also another herb called feverfew, which is quite good, more on the bitter side, but definitely helps with flu and stuff. But for today, we'll just use some mint, and we'll make a lovely tea. Here is also a lovely flavorful tea. It's tulsi flowers, which is holy basil, but it's amazing cup of tea. If you want to add some extra flavor, this is the stuff. Basil, but interesting. So obviously I'm not going to teach you how to make a cup of tea, but these little pots with sieves are just fantastic. Chuck all your herbs, ginger, there we go, and bring it to boil. But what I do want to teach you is another remedy, a eucalyptus. So have a look at this. Now this stuff is absolutely amazing. You find it growing everywhere. So it's not blue gums, it's got these rounded leaves. Okay, it's eucalyptus, extremely potent. The trees are all over South Africa and many parts of the world because they just grow like weed. And the beauty about them is it's easy to spot them. And a lot of trees have got that deeper the variety of greens, and eucalyptus got this slightly bluish tint. It definitely stands out from the rest of the trees. So look out for them, and true as Bob, you'll smell the leaves, and it's very potent. And it's much better than using the oil. I find the oil is very harsh. If you put some oil in the boiling water, it's just like hits you. But these leaves are fantastic. Also, you can try this next time you go to the sauna. The water that's left over, take that with you to the sauna, chuck that on the rocks, and it's the most amazing smell. Unlike oil, which will burn. We take a nice handful, the more the merrier. Okay, and then we're going to put that into the pot. You can just put the leaves. And why I say the more the merrier, obviously the oils and the leaves, they're the ones that are going to do the healing. So you put that in when the water is boiled, and you boil it only for 3 minutes with the lid closed. Okay, on low heat. Once it's boiled, you put on a low heat, 3 minutes just to bring out the oils, lid closed, and then you go and take that underneath the blanket, and you put a blanket or towel over you, and you just inhale that for as long as you can. And the more water you have in the pot, the longer the steam will emit, because obviously the mass of water will stay hotter for longer. So that's really, really fantastic, just to clear up the nose and you know, any sinuses, chest, it goes right in. It's that warm steam. It beats any wicks or inhaling anything, you know, petrochemical cold, you know. So this is warm steam. It's going to clear you out. Really fantastic. And even if you're not sick, I'm not sick now. I'm going to go and do it for, you know, to show you guys. And it's just truly phenomenal. While we're waiting for that guy to boil, I'm going to show you a third remedy. And that is iodine. And that's something you might have known about these things, but you don't. I don't know if you know the power of iodine. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to you can use a earbud, or I just made using a chopstick and some cotton wool. You're going to dip that in. So I'm just going to get naked here on my chest. Okay, so we're going to dip it in. Okay. We're going to create a grid. I don't know if you can see me, but we're going to create a grid on our chest. Okay? That will, I don't know how it works, but it sorts out your cough and your chest. You create this grid. There we go. And yeah, you can also make a grid underneath your feet. Same story, and it just sorts out your chest for coughs and colds. It's miraculous. If you know why it works, please post the comments below, let us know. But that's something to the chest. It's just a simple grid like that. So whilst we are talking about the chest, I'd like to just share with you another two simple remedies. The one is a cabbage leaf, and you put honey, some good natural raw honey, on one side, a big cabbage leaf, and you put the whole thing over your chest. And in the morning, you know, you can bandage it up and cover yourself so you don't damage your sheets and whatever. But in the morning you wake up, there's literally no stickiness and no honey. All the honey gets absorbed. So that's quite interesting. And then obviously your cough you start feeling quite a lot of phlegm coming up, but you know, you get it out and then you're clear. And another interesting remedy is this mustard seeds. But basically, in Russia, they sell these like pieces of paper with crushed mustard seeds on one side. I'm sure you could replicate it by using natural potato flour as glue, dipping the paper in that flour or the mustard seeds, and then applying it. Obviously, worth experimenting. And what happens is, as a 5-year-old kid, my mom would put that on my chest because I was suffering with quite a lot of chest things because I was exposed to airplane pesticide spraying in Uzbekistan for 2 years. So that really did its toll for me. But so how I healed myself is using these a lot of sauna and these mustard papers. So it's impregnated with mustard, it's like a caked with layer of mustard, and then you put it in water to activate it for maybe 30 seconds or so, and then that warm the seeds, the wet seeds, they start activating, and obviously once you put it on, within 5 minutes you feel this tremendous heat on your chest. Nothing unbearable, but definitely that burning sensation. I mean, they're replicating it with the Vicks here, but it's not nearly the same. So you put that on, again, warm t-shirt, and in the morning you wake up, and again, there's no cough, will get the phlegm out, and you're 100%. Or you could try all three remedies: the iodine grid one night, cabbage leaf with honey a second night, and mustard seeds crushed on paper with a bit of water, and then on the third night, and that will sort your chest out like nothing else, and it's all natural and no side effects, and you'll feel fantastic afterwards. All right, so here we got a nice pot of eucalyptus. I'm not going to open it until I put the towel on. It's better to use a bit of a blanket because it's bigger. So as soon as I've got the towel covered on, then obviously I'll open but just to show you, and it smells amazing. It's this fresh eucalyptus leaves. So just go under and inhale a bit. And then you can control, if it's too hot, you can let a bit of air in, but you try and close yourself up all around. And take deep, deep breaths. So you get all steamy, but I'm already clearing up. And that was just a few, like 30 seconds. Amazing, amazing recipe. I strongly recommend. Get your kids under that. Go in with them together. They'll love it. Both join in the fun. Or go in there as a whole family and just take this inhaling. And yeah, the bigger the pot, the more water, the more leaves, the more pungent the flavor, the better the healing. So that's about it for all these healing remedies that I'm aware of. There's obviously plenty of other herbs and plenty of other methods, but I just wanted to show you something unorthodox and not the regular practice, as we say. But these practices do work. Obviously, pump yourself with vitamin C. And just stay healthy, and follow your vision. If there's one thing that I'd say that made the biggest change to me in terms of not getting sick is I just follow my vision. I realize what my vision is, which is to create heaven on earth and to teach 1 billion people how to create heaven on earth. And I'm just like, I've got no time to get sick, really. I've got no time to get sick. Sickness doesn't come across me. I have maybe 5 grapefruits a week. I just chow them in the morning, and there's no time to get sick. It's not my reality, and because it's not my reality, it's not my reality. It's like doesn't come across into my life. And if something does, if I do feel something, which I haven't even felt anything coming through, but if I do feel something, you get under eucalyptus, lots of honey tea with lemon. Obviously, also make sure you put lemon in when the tea is slightly cooled down to preserve the vitamin C, and just pump yourself with good stuff. Green juice, alkaline green juice every day. That really helps. I'd say that's also one of the biggest reasons I don't get sick is this green juice that I'm getting from my garden. Just, my immune system is through the roof. And I can't say that I'm eating the healthiest. I'm eating pancakes almost every day with rice milk and chickpea flour, actually. Very nice pancakes, rice milk and chickpea flour. Still use eggs, and it's fantastic, Yeah, so if you've got any other recipes that you know of, or that are low tech, came from your granny or your mom, or from your tradition, please post them below in the comment section below. Share with us, share with other readers and viewers, and I'd love to hear from you. Namaste.